Welcome back to episode 2 of Cupcakes and Cashflow, where we talk to women in business and women entrepreneurs who are building businesses in their own right. We're actually on tour today, and I do have the lovely Charlotte with me.
And I'm Charlotte, and today we are joined by Claire Lockey, who is the owner and visionary of the Skills Blueprint Limited. I'm going to pass over to Claire for her to introduce herself and her business.
Hello, Claire, and welcome to Cupcakes and Cashflow.
Thanks so
Tell
much.
me more about you. Introduce yourself.
I'm Claire, and I am a business coach and growth marketing strategist, and I help service-based entrepreneurs build happy, profitable and sustainable businesses by leveraging and monetising their skills.
Wow, you actually did it in the word challenge that I actually gave you. You actually did it
So quickly as well. That was amazing.
It's well practiced, you know. You have to have that pitch down, don't you?
Yes.
Because you have to be able to tell people super quick who you are, what you do, how you help them.
Yes, that's been a huge learning curve for me at the cafe with all the networking and everything. But you've been in the personal and professional development world for more than 15 years now.
Yeah, long time.
Wow,
What?
quite a long time.
Because I'm only 25, so.
You're only 25, Claire.
What got you into it? How did you begin?
So I've always worked in this sector, sort of after graduating, and my background is always been in developing people. I'm a qualified careers advisor. I worked for the National Careers Service for a long time. So I've always been in a skills-focused industry and always had a really big passion about helping people to develop themselves. And then when I was working at university after I'd had my son, I had the opportunity to start my own business. My job was at risk again, and I just wanted to have autonomy. And, you know, I was fed up of having my choice taken away from me just because I'd had my son.
Yeah.
And I had to choose between a career and being the mum that I wanted. So I started my business, and then, just gained my confidence, tapped into my training background. And
I'm going to ask you, what's it feel like to feel at risk? You know, also, because you just mentioned in there, at risk again.
Yeah.
You know, what does it make you panic? I think, what am I going to do?
Yeah, I mean, I'd already been made redundant. I found out I was made redundant from my job when Theo was 8 days old. And I didn't have a job to go back to after having my baby. And then because I had a baby then, I had to go into part-time work, and I just felt like all my career options had been taken away from me because I didn't want to go back to work full-time. So I decided to take things into my own hands, and that's why I started my business. And I matched my wage within 4 months and then handed in my notice. And that was
because you are a lady of many, many talents, and you do have a few businesses. And I can confirm that Claire will be back with us in the summer next year to talk about some of her exciting plans and the other businesses she has. So, but the one we're going to concentrate today on is the Skills Blueprint.
Yeah.
Tell us what inspired that and what's it all about.
So the Skills Blueprint is my skills-focused training company. So we work with service-based entrepreneurs, because that's my area of speciality, helping them to unlock their potential, blending business development with personal development. And that's what makes us really unique, is that we do blend both of these sides of the development, because I really believe that you can't have one without the other. So I've had my own business for 9 years, but this business, the Skills Blueprint, came about in 2020, just the end of 2023, because I was sort of coaching people privately and selling courses privately all over the UK and Europe, but I wanted to do something more local. So that's why I started the Skills Blueprint as a Lincolnshire skills-focused training company, so I could make more impact here, where I live. Yeah,
one thing I've heard you say is, like, when you sold your first Canva course for, what was it?
£14.
£14 you sold your first Canva course for.
I started my business at £12 an hour as a virtual assistant, and yet my first Canva course was £14.
How did it feel?
Amazing.
As a recent sort of like business owner, just have those first few pennies go
Yeah.
into the bank, and it's like, wow, there's money in my bank account.
Absolutely. I did that about 2 years in, so I've been doing done-for-you work as a virtual assistant, but I had a really strong training background. I wasn't leveraging those skills. So yeah, I started with a Canva course, and I remember I sold about 10 to 12 tickets, and I remember saying to my husband, I've just made like £200 for 1 hour of work. And that's when it really dawned on me that not selling my time was the key, you know, to unlocking the potential, the profit that I wanted to earn, and to leverage my skills. And then it started from there, and then it's got me to here today.
That's brilliant,
Yeah.
isn't it?
So in the whole process of becoming a mother for the first time and being at risk of losing your job, which is a massive thing when you've got a newborn baby, it sounds like along the way you've unlocked your own potential, and now you're putting that into the skills blueprint to help other people in businesses unlock their own potential.
Absolutely, yeah. And I really think that is the key, is no amount of business strategy can outplay your mindset and the belief that you have, as you know, in your capability to achieve. It has to start with you, and that's why we do blend both, because that's why you can, you know, download a lead magnet, you can download somebody's strategy.
Can I stop you there? What's a lead magnet? Because for people who don't know what a lead magnet is, what's a lead magnet?
So a lead magnet is a free resource that business owners often offer in exchange to get an email address. They can build their email list and then market to people.
So, like, for example, would that be classed, like you have your lovely business cards on our table, would that be classed as a lead magnet?
So the business cards wouldn't, but I have resources on the website where you can download, you know, free mini trainings or free templates and things like that. So it's where you give a valuable resource. But they are great and they can help you, but there comes a point where if you're constantly looking for that quick fix in your business and you're downloading these free resources that, you know, have the key to success and it's not working, you have to ask yourself why that might be the reason. And more often than not, the reason is that you aren't there, you know, in your mindset, your belief, the trust that you have in your ability to succeed. And that's why we do this work, because it unlocks everything in your business.
Because the clients that come to you, you know, they range from people who are fitness coaches to people who are crafters to everything really that sort of like rolls through your door. You know, when you know, what's the common struggle they all have? You know, when they first land on your doorstep or they ring you up and say, Claire, I want to come on your course. What sort of trend are you seeing with people coming through the door?
There's usually a combination of things. A lot of the time it is their own mindset and confidence and the belief that they have in themselves. That imposter syndrome is really there, you know, it's just stopping them, blocking them, their limiting beliefs. They're so scared. So we do a lot of work around that. But strategically, sort of from a business sense, it's often that they aren't leveraging their skills in the right way. You know, they're such brilliant, talented, skilled people that have so much knowledge, and they're just not, they don't know how to leverage that or monetize that in the right way. So that's why we do a lot of work around your service suites and things like that.
Yes, because I know from being a new business, it's so easy to get overwhelmed and listen to what all sorts of different people from all sorts of different businesses and experience, and they all mean so well. But by the end of it, your head is ready to explode because everyone says different things to do.
Absolutely.
So I guess you're helping people earn more and work less. I was going to get my words muddled up with that one. But what are the biggest misconceptions that people have about working less and earning more?
I think people think that in order to earn more, they have to work harder, right? Because that's the narrative that's so
That's the
often,
conditioning we've been told by society.
Conditioning, exactly that. We're taught, you know, to earn more, you have to work harder, you have to work more. And that is the equation. Working more equals earning more. And that isn't the case at all. It's about working smarter, not working harder. And that's where learning to leverage your skills and monetize your skills, learning how to diversify your income and bring money in different ways, create passive income where you're not actually having to be there while the money's coming in. You know, that's the ability, but that all of that becomes possible when you understand what you have in the first place, right? It starts with you. You have to understand the value of your knowledge in order to share that strategically and profitably in the right way. So that's why we teach both.
Because confidence in your skill set is a huge part, isn't it, Charlotte?
Oh my goodness, I've learnt that the hard way.
Yes.
It's eye-opening starting a new business, but it all, like you said earlier, it all does start with you and the belief that you've had, because if you don't believe in yourself, then you're not going to have the confidence. And especially working in a public-facing business, it shows.
How can you expect other people to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself? You know, because the service providers, particularly, we don't have products to sell. We're selling trust.
Can I sort of like, just for the listeners and the viewers and stuff, what do you class as a service-based industry?
So a service-based provider, if you think about like a shop where you go in, you buy a pair of trainers, that's a product. You leave with the product, you know, so you're buying something and you're leaving with it. So that's a very different way of selling. When you are a service-based business owner, you're often selling in advance to somebody getting the service. It could be like podcasting or you know, VA support or graphic design or web design. You don't leave with the website on the day that you decide to spend the money. So a service-based provider has to sell in a very different way because they're ultimately selling trust.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and that belief, if you don't believe in what you're selling and that you're good enough to do it, how can you expect anybody else to buy into that? Yeah, this is why you have to lead yourself, and I'm very passionate about self-leadership.
Yeah, you're sort of selling those skills and recognising those skills. Like for myself, I'm now starting, as work is coming in and sort of being asked to teach in other countries is amazing. Because me and Claire were discussing this. Am I allowed to say Claire's off globe-trotting, aren't you?
Yeah, next year, a Skills Blueprint's going
She's
on
off
tour.
to Ibiza and Thailand.
Thailand, yeah.
She's going on a business retreat in Ibiza. We're not jealous, are we? At all, Charlotte? No. You know, it's sort of saying that. You know, you've pushed yourself out of your comfort zone. What's that one special moment that you're proud of? And I know there's quite a few.
Yeah, I very much live by the ethos, you know, of your success lives on the other side of your discomfort. Everything that's worth having, you know, is on the other side of getting through and pushing through that fear, which is why we need to build our resilience. But I think for me, it was probably starting the Skills Blueprint. I'd already been in business 7 years, but my first contract in the Skills Blueprint actually was the Skills Bootcamps, and I won a £50,000+ project without a logo, without a website.
Yeah, that's one of your proud moments.
Yeah, absolutely. And I, you know, had every reason to say, you're not ready, it's too early, why would they even look at you? But I didn't. I knew.
Do you think as women we do that all the time?
All
we
the time.
self-doubt, sort of like, I know I've got the skill set, I know I can do this, but that little voice is going, no, you can't.
Absolutely.
I think especially when you're a mother as well, and you've got the added guilt and also the expectations of people on the outside looking in, makes it especially difficult to do and begin. But as a woman, as with a mother as well, especially, you feel that you want something that works around your kids and something that you can be there for them, but then it's so scary and terrifying to take the leap of faith and do that and go out on your own. So when, you know, because we are a women's podcast for now, but what do you think women who come to you most undervalue about themselves when whether starting up a business or they're already in the business?
I think it is the word value, and this is a really interesting conversation, is that value is very subjective. And as women particularly, we undervalue our skills and just how much value we add to people, and we often get tied up in the helping mode.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we see value in being helpful. We see value in doing things, in tasks ticked off and being completed. But that is a very isolated way of thinking. When we perceive value differently, is actually I can add value to somebody by challenging them. I can add value to somebody by guiding them, holding them accountable, teaching them. Our value lies way outside of just what we do. And when, again, you get your head around that and you reframe that as a business owner, you start to see opportunity. And you start to see, so I'd say particularly for women, but for most business owners, this is a theory called conscious competence.
Conscious competence, we'll have to remember that one.
Yeah, so it's the theory of we forget how good we are at what we do because it feels easy. And because things feel easy to us, we devalue it and we undersell it and underprice it because we forget how valuable it is because it feels easy. So we say, oh, it doesn't, things like, oh, don't worry, it only took 5 minutes. Oh, that's easy, don't worry. But we forget it's easy because we're experts And it took us a long time to get to that.
Are you ready to unlock your full potential in life and business? Welcome to the Skills Blueprint, where business growth begins with personal transformation. We design and deliver business training that builds confidence, sharpens your message, and helps you attract more of the right clients. From funded skills bootcamps to bespoke workshops, we help individuals and organizations grow. Believe in your potential. Take action. Build a business you're proud of. Visit skillsblueprint.co.uk today.
You must have like women who walk in on the courses and go, I've got this crazy idea.
They're the best.
Yes, and there has been, I imagine there has been a few that have walked through the doors and said, Claire, I want to start this business, but I'm not quite ready yet. Where would you sort of like, would you look at the business and go, or would you think, I know you, and I'm thinking you're probably going to look at it and go, right, this is a challenge. I'm going to go for this.
I think the phrase "I'm not ready" or "I don't feel ready" is a really dangerous one, because actually the likelihood is you'll never feel ready.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you aren't ready.
You've just got to take that plunge.
Yeah, 100%. And actually, a lot of the time we feel ready by doing, right? And we realise that we didn't need to be ready, or we didn't need to feel ready. We can do it anyway. So, and I think that's the thing, again, it's a lot of reframing. But yeah, I think there are ways that it has to happen in order. You know, in business, there's foundational things that you need to get right in order for a business to be successful. But in terms of I'm not ready, you'll never feel ready. Done is better than perfect. We were just talking about this, weren't we?
Yeah.
So I would always say...
Sometimes I think you've just got to put 2 feet in, as they say, just go for it. If you make mistakes along the way, you make mistakes along the way.
Best way
you
to
learn from these
So they're not
mistakes.
mistakes, they're lessons.
Yeah.
And if
That's
it doesn't work
good-
out, it's not a failure. It's just a lesson of how not to do it that way again, and just tweak it and do it a bit differently.
I don't believe in the word failure, because every thing that doesn't work is an opportunity to learn. It's information. If we take the emotion out of it, it becomes data, and knowledge is power. So
it's growth.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
growth comes from being uncomfortable, because then you've got to learn, okay, this is
Absolutely.
uncomfortable, what do I do next? And then before you know it, you become the expert in it, and what scared you becomes so easy.
Yeah.
It's
You just trip it off the tongue, really, don't you? Because obviously I've been asked to talk to an overseas retreat and things like that, and I was in my head, I had imposter syndrome, Claire, and I was like, I can't do this. But then when I've started to write the course, I'm like, I can do this. You know, I can truly believe that I can do this. And I can't believe I'm going to admit this, I am starting to become an expert in my field and stuff like that with talking to people. Because when I've spoken to people, I said, well, I could show off now. My podcast, I'm allowed to show off.
Yeah, of course you are.
You know, I've put stories through to the local BBC. I've had them on the national news and stuff like that. And I've always undervalued that I can do that.
Yeah.
And it's just lately I'm thinking, I can do this.
Absolutely.
You know, it's all about positioning, isn't it? And stuff like that. How you
Yeah.
position yourself as a woman.
I think it's particularly for women, it's fear of being seen, fear of being judged. You know, that's a big part of the imposter syndrome, isn't it? I think.
yes, because businesses as well struggle with the positioning in the market. So what is a way that a new business or an old business, can't think of the right word,
How do you position yourself
how
in
do
the
you
market as a
position-
new, like Charlotte? Charlotte has her lovely cafe. What would you suggest to Charlotte to position herself?
I think one of the things about positioning is, again, this is a lot of reframing that starts with us as business owners, is that what you do isn't the unique thing. Yeah, there's only so many ways to make coffee. There's only so many ways to do copywriting courses. There's only so many ways to edit podcasts. So the thing that you do isn't your USP. When you're a small business, when you haven't got massive teams and management, you are the USP. So that's what we need to
one
position.
thing I've had to learn quite heavily. It's like, for this, we are like Cupcakes.
Yes.
We are the USP, Charlotte. We are the unique selling point for Cupcakes.
A women's podcast is not unique. The thing that makes it unique is you.
It's us.
Experience, your values, your opinions, your attitudes, you know, your how you navigate life, the challenges, the vulnerabilities. And that is what makes people connect. So in terms of positioning, what I would encourage people to do is turn inward. and look at people buy from people.
Yeah.
Very much so.
And we
don't they?
focus
That's what we're
way too
learning, aren't we?
much on what we're selling, not why it matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've learnt that a
Yeah.
lot recently with the cafe. A
Yeah.
lot of people come in who I've never met, never seen before, and they say, "Oh, I've been following you on social media, and I don't normally come to places alone, but I felt able to come."
Yeah. I
And
wanted
like,
to come to meet you.
yeah,
Okay,
and see what it
perfect.
was about. And you're like, wow, okay, you've not come for the coffee, you've come.
They've come to gain, they've come to gain clarity for you. It's sort of like you're on Instagram doing your thing, and it's like when business owners are stuck, what's the first step to clarity and stuff like for Charlotte?
Yeah, because everyone can come into town and go to a Costa or a Starbucks.
So they've got any amount of choice, haven't they? And that's the thing, is asking yourself the question, why would people choose me?
Should
Why
they
do I
choose
want?
Charlotte?
Exactly. Why would people choose you? Because they like you, they want to support you, they want to shop local. That's values,
Yes.
right? So people connect with shared values across businesses. So
Yeah, I think that's been a
Yes.
hard lesson to learn, that we are our own USPs
Yes.
and stuff, aren't we?
And you're not going to please everybody that you come across in business.
that's okay.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to change everything or anything and overcomplicate things. As I
We won't go there.
to make it fit for everybody,
Yeah.
because that's not feasible for
No.
your business at the end of the day.
And in terms of content, I say this to my clients all the time and they hate me for it. I say, if you are trying to appeal to everybody, you need to get off the fence. Because that isn't what content is about. Content is supposed to attract, but it's also supposed to repel.
You will attract your tribe.
Absolutely,
You
but
will
only
attract your
if that
audience.
voice is clear enough. Because if it isn't, you'll blur into the background and they won't even notice you. Because your voice isn't strong enough to get a stronger voice.
You need to be different.
You have to get off the fence.
You really do need to be different and stand out. As I've been learning, you need to be different.
And own
to
that
stand-
difference.
Yeah,
That's your
absolutely.
brilliance so much of the time, but it's the thing that we shy away from and try and hide from people.
Yeah,
It's
so I
actually-
don't want to put my brilliance out there. I don't want to put my quirkiness out there,
Own
which
your brilliance, yeah.
which we are quite, with the other podcasts that we do with Links Lives, we do and try and be quite quirky. And I think we've been quite quirky with Cupcakes, actually, because when I was coming up for the names, if you can imagine some of the names that were going back and forth, weren't we?
There was quite a few different ones.
There was quite a few different names we were coming up with, and there's sort of like the Cupcakes and the Cashflow worked quite well, because obviously I'm going to
It's the fun
explain.
with the business, isn't it? That's
Yeah,
the thing.
and the reason we came up that, because we didn't mention this in the last podcast, is because obviously we film in Charlotte's lovely cafe, the Mindful Mug, in Lincoln, but we've obviously gone on tour.
Yeah.
Especially here, for Claire, haven't we? We've come to Claire and stuff. Saying that, something's happening in January, isn't it? Something for you is happening in January. Your skills boots camps, what makes it different? Like, there's always skills coaches out there. All these boot camps are out there. Why do we need Claire in our life for these boot camps? And who can attend? Who, where, why, what?
Okay, so the skills boot camps are government-funded programs. They are an absolutely incredible opportunity for businesses in Lincolnshire to access high-quality funded training. It's very few opportunities for businesses. So that's what the skills boot camps are. Our skills boot camps are specifically for service-based businesses and entrepreneurs. And we have, due to the success of our first round, which we're just finishing now, we've been awarded additional funding to run another round in January. So we have a level 4 skills boot camp available.
That's the first time you ran the level 4.
We're just finishing the first round of the level 4, and it's been absolutely incredible. And like everything that I do, I always try and do things differently, try and do things in ways that other people aren't. So we have, I think, 5 spaces left at the moment, and we only found out last week, so those spaces are going quickly, but it's a level 4 skills boot camp in strategic business growth,
Wow, that's
marketing and self-leadership. So it is for business owners that are not new, they're not startups. This is for business owners that have clients and making money, but they know so much of what we've been talking about today, they're limiting themselves. They've got so much more potential. They have got they're undervaluing their skills, and they want to learn how to package those, monetize them, look at passive income, and they're ready to increase their visibility, increase their profit, increase their confidence. So
when you break it down, we already have these skills.
Absolutely.
You're just rephrasing it in a different way. And when we've gone through the elements, that's what I want to say, you know, the different things, and gone, well, I can do that. You're just putting it in a different way. I can do all these things, you know, and it's such a powerful opportunity, isn't it?
It is, and it's just bringing about everything that you've already got inside of you and bringing it to the front of your mind. And I think that's a really powerful opportunity for businesses in Lincoln.
Yes, they're fully funded for sole traders, and there's just a 10% contribution of £300 for limited companies. But other than that, it's completely funded if you're a business in Lincolnshire.
So somebody has to be in Lincolnshire.
It has to be in Lincolnshire and over 19, yeah. So
to access the courses
the
and
funding,
stuff. So
yeah.
Could Rutland, or is it literally just?
It's Lincolnshire and Rutland as well. Yeah, so it's the whole
So what do we
county.
class as Rutland? Are we sort of like Peterborough?
Yeah, some of the postcodes. But the best thing for people to do is just reach out
Contact
to me.
you.
Yeah, just reach out to me and I can check it. If you're right on the border, just let me know and I can check. If not, I can signpost you to the Peterborough.
You're on all the socials, which we'll do at the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
So we'll give those all out at the end of the podcast. Right, something different, Claire. From today, if you looked back sort of like 10 years ago and you went, what could I tell Claire 10 years ago that you're doing now?
She wouldn't have believed you.
No.
She wouldn't have believed you.
So I think it's the same for myself and Charlotte. If we look back 10 years ago and said, you'll be doing a podcast, you'd have a cafe. You said, no chance.
No.
Absolutely no chance.
10 years ago, I had a 6-month-old baby. Was going back to work after maternity without having a job to go back to. And I honestly thought my career was over. I thought that was it for the next 18 years. And yeah, if you told me I'd be running 2 businesses, still at the school gate every day, taking 12 weeks off a year and turning over 6 figures.
I was going to say, that's one of your biggest things is you're proud to say you're turning over 6 figures, aren't you?
I'm more proud to say that I'm at the school gate every day because I'm so passionate about that. The money, the finance is brilliant, you know, and that facilitates a way of life. But I'm very passionate about building happy, profitable, sustainable businesses that are aligned with the person that wants, and that is a massive driver for me. No matter how big the businesses get, I want to be at the school gate every day. I want to take the summer off. So I will always build my businesses around that intention.
Yeah, because that leads in right nicely to the next question, really, doesn't it? You know.
Yes. 'Cause what's the one business habit that you swear by?
I think you might have done it. Just mentioned it.
Yeah.
One business habit, I think self-development, constantly coming back to who I am. Am I upgrading my identity as the business grows? Am I leading myself in the best way? Am I in integrity? Are my values still there? Always coming back to self, checking in with myself rather than losing myself along the way. That's really key, I think.
Yeah, and I think, you should be proud of yourself because you are at the school gate to collect your child every day, aren't you? You're there religiously and you're running all these businesses as well. As this is Cupcakes and Cashflow, we do have to ask you, Claire, what is your favourite cupcake flavour?
It would have to be chocolate. Death by chocolate every time.
Death by chocolate. Why do you think you choose Death by Chocolate cake? Sort of like, why do you choose that flavour?
I've got such a sweet tooth. My husband would eat crisps and savoury, but give me a nice piece of cake.
Yeah, and on that note, we do have a little gift for you, which we will pass over to you because, like you say, this is Cupcakes and Cashflow. We do actually have some cupcakes for you.
Fabulous!
They're not made at the cafe though today. I did not have time
I'm going to have to
finish them.
Come to the cafe and claim my chocolate cupcake.
These do have a lovely chocolate one in for you.
We do have chocolate bases
It's going
for
to have to be pink, isn't it?
We do have chocolate.
Oh no, I'm going to have a chocolate one.
I think I'm going to have a pink one. I'm going to have a pink one.
I'm going to have an orange one so it doesn't feel left
out. Have an orange one.
They're my card colours, look.
See, this is... how bizarre is that we've just managed to...
Got my branded cupcakes.
Well, I know we talk about branding and stuff in the courses, but I didn't realise we'd actually managed subconsciously.
I've obviously made an impact. It was in your head when you were getting them.
Yeah. Just to sort of alliterate, because we have actually come to the end of the podcast now, and Charlotte's got one of the final questions, I think.
So you've said you've got 5 spaces left on the course that's starting in January. Where are people, if there's any businesses interested in watching this, where can they find more information and
So,
apply?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn as Claire Lockey. You can come and find me on Instagram at the Skills Blueprint Limited, the website skillsblueprint.co.uk. Anywhere, just come and reach out to me, and I'll send you all the information, all the dates. It's a gorgeous blend of in-person and online here at Spark House.
And this is a lovely building.
It's brilliant, yeah.
It's easy to get to. You know, if you don't want to drive, you can come on the train. There's car parks. You know, we can get to you quite easily, can't we?
One of the things that makes us different as a boot camp is our flexibilities. We do everything within school hours. We don't do any training past 3 o'clock, so I can be at the school gate to pick up my son. We have replays online, so we really do try and cater to the needs of our
And
learners.
she does the best chocolate brownies with her catering company.
Only the best buffets for our learners.
They have a catering company, Charlotte. And
I know, I had one on the
Yes.
social media one.
Good.
yeah, it was sort of like the chocolate brownies. So if anybody doesn't want to just come for the thing, come for the
buffet.
chocolate. Just come for the food. Come for the food.
Build your
and
business
stuff.
second.
Don't worry about it. But you know, and what's one thing you want people to take away from this podcast episode today? Just what one thing, if you had to say it, what would it be?
I think just make sure that you believe it's possible first, and the rest will follow.
Yeah, so people that come to you with these mad ideas, like, I'm going to start a cafe, I'm going to start a podcast, you'll go, bring it on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna accept the challenge and
Feel the
stuff.
fear and do it anyway.
Yes.
Yes. Claire, it's been an absolute pleasure
Thank you
having
for having
you
me.
on today. I know it's been a long time coming, you know, and we had to wait to get the right opportunity to get you on, because you're such a busy lady. Claire, thank you so much for coming on today. It's been brilliant having you on. I know we've waited to get you on, and we've waited for the right opportunity, but thank you so much for talking to Cupcakes and Cashflow.
It's been brilliant. Thank you.
Yes, I'm looking so forward to seeing what happens next year.
Me too.
There's lots of things for you.
Once again, thank you very much, Claire, for coming on to Cupcakes and Cashflow.
Yes. Thank you very much, guys. Bye.